Hey guys, Dino here, bringing you some COD BO Olympia action. So I had an open lobby today. It was a lot of fun. Once again, everybody that showed up was great, and we finished off the day today. I think most of us went with the Olympia kit just to have some fun and see what happens. To be perfectly honest, we had 5 or 6 games. Did horrendous in all of them. Ironically, except for the last. One of the things that I'm a little surprised about this game is how much the connection can change it, and I'm slowly starting to realize how powerful that is. I've been told that a 4-bar is a 0 to 100 ping, and a 2-bar is like 1 to 200 ping or something like that, and that's, I don't know. I mean, as I mentioned before in other videos, like 100 ping is the absolute maximum limit I would ever consider playing on a PC. I prefer 75 and under, ideally 50 and under. I would never even think about, trying to get a competitive score or something like that, with less than a 50 ping for the most part. So, that being said, of course, tonight when we're playing this, the host is on the East Coast and I have a 2 to 3 bar ping. But apparently the Olympia triumphs through it all. So real quick, before too many of you guys shut off the video and stop watching, I wanted to thank everybody for their commentary on the most recent video I put out, the FPS evolution. I think by and large, for the most part, everybody leaves great comments and the feedback is great. It's a lot of fun to read intelligent commentary, and when we can create like this sort of dialogue between each other, I mean, we figure things out, and hopefully both walk away smarter people because of it. We're both more educated, we demand more from game developers, and maybe at the end of the day we start getting better games. So it's definitely half the reason why I wanted to start up this whole YouTube stuff. I did say I was a little surprised at some of the double kill, 1 blast, that was nice, kind of an accident. I was a little surprised that so many people were defending Bad Company too. I was genuinely impressed. By the way, I thought that guy that just killed me was on my team. A little blown away. Like I said, I am definitely going to give it another shot this weekend to go in and just make sure I wasn't crazy. It sounds like a few people are upset that I didn't put in excessive amounts of hours into the game in order to, I guess, have a better take on what that game has to offer. But if you guys read any reviews from a go to IGN or something like that, or Game Informer, or any of these other game sites, most of the time they, when they do a review for a game, they're not usually reviewing it for 15, 20, 30 hours or more. I think Game Informer actually puts the amount of hours that they spend, and it's usually around 4 to 7, and even that's pushing it. Usually when they're, guys that are reviewing them, at least for a living, they have a lot to do and they just don't have a lot of time to do it. So, asking for somebody to put in 15, 20 hours into a game is kind of unrealistic. As you guys probably know, I don't have 15 or 20 hours into this game. So, Jesus, and I'm posting videos on it, which is probably a bad idea. For anyone wondering, by the way, real quick, I'm actually on a sensitivity of 2 at the moment. That was what the one of the suggestions were on the Olympia firing squad. I love it. One of the suggestions was on my last video, if you're having any trouble hitting on a sensitivity of 3, you might want to go to sensitivity of 2. And to be honest, I'm really not doing better or even worse. It's just pretty shitty all around. But I just think I need to play a lot more in order to start coming anywhere close to picking it up. So I'm still only averaging like a couple hours a week, unfortunately, on this game. I think I need to play a lot more in order to start picking up the sticks. So, but I am going to keep it on 2, and when I master the 2 sensitivity, then I'll move on to something else. I don't think I'll ever go higher than 4. A few guys are talking about going up to like 6 or 7 or 8, and maybe, I don't know, I don't see myself ever doing that on a console, so we'll see. I've talked to Bruce. Bruce, it's not really an argument. We were both very, very, very skilled players in 42 and BFE. But he will, he's even said, he doubts I'll ever catch up to him on console. So, we'll see. I mean, to me, I actually kind of like hearing stuff like that because it's a bit of a challenge. So, we'll see what happens, but I think it'll take more than an hour or two a week. Anyway, back to Bad Company 2. The reasons why I don't like Bad Company 2 are not necessarily solely because it's realistic or anything like that. I think, in general, it feels like a poor quality game to me. There's been a trend, I feel like, in the 42 or in the Battlefield games since Battlefield 42. I feel like they've been going down in quality, year after year after year, and they have fewer and fewer people playing them. Battlefield 42 by far was the most popular. Was out for years. Battlefield Vietnam came out, and it had some great elements to it, but you could tell it was still like this sort of cheaper, I don't want to say knockoff, but you could tell like that they hadn't put the same quality into it as they had 42, even though I loved the shit out of Vietnam. But it, like I said, they didn't quality test it all day long. They built something and threw it out, and it had a few elements that worked for it, thank God, but it wasn't necessarily a quality game. It had a few things that worked for it, and that's about it. Anyway, and then came out BF2. BF2, I think, had one competitive season and was done for. And I didn't even bother playing BF2 because I heard so many of my buddies who had played with me in 42 and BFE say they was just trash, that not even to bother with it. Couldn't tell you exactly why. That's just what they said. That was their general feeling of it. So I was never bothered with that. And then Battlefield 21, 42. I mean, I don't even know if that lasted. I don't even know if it lasted 6 months when that was done for. And then the Bad Company series came out, and the Bad Company series has definitely had a different feel to it than the traditional Battlefield games. It doesn't necessarily play like them, and not every game doesn't have to play like Battlefield in order to be a good game, so I don't want to give that impression either. One of the things I think I didn't do a good job of was I didn't want it to come off like I said, like every game has to be a clone of 42, and any game that's not is a piece of shit. I think games have to evolve, and I think, if we all play the same for the next 50 years, we'd all be bored out of our minds. So I think that's a good thing, but I don't simply think just by saying that, Battlefield Bad Company 2 is a different game, therefore, it's immune to criticism. I don't think you can really do that. So anyway, the other, to list off the top of my head all the reasons I don't like it, like I said, you get that weird sense of like swimming or floating in the game. I think because they capped the frame rates. There's a weird ping issues, at least on PC servers. I haven't yet to see a server where the majority of people aren't over 150 ping. I don't know if it's because of that or if it's because of the way guns are. I have a very hard time shooting and killing people consistently and using less than, half a clip in order to kill somebody. The tanks compared to the stuff in 42 are very accurate. I understand you guys don't necessarily think they're super accurate. I don't know how much more accurate you would like them to be. But in my impression from playing other games with tanks, they are extraordinarily accurate. The helicopters compared to the BFE helicopters, their handling is very, very poor. And trying to think how to put this. They took away their agility, at least most of the helicopters. I know you can still circle strafe to an extent with the the attack choppers, but at the same time they took away the more or less the skill to circle strafing with them as well. They sort of fly themselves. I just don't like the feel to them. I do not like not having a separate set of controls for my vehicles and everything else. Unless I'm missing something, I don't think Bad Company 2 has a separate set of controls. So then I feel like a slug, kind of like I feel like a COD at the moment. Because I can't jump in my turret and turn it around much faster like you saw me doing in 42. I don't think it has spammable views like I had in 42 either, which was kind of nice, but not necessarily against Bad Company 2. Trying to think of what else. Maybe, I don't know, it might be off the top of my head. Well, like I said, the spotting system, I think that really has to go. I don't think that there's necessarily anything against making a game more realistic and adding in elements to feel like you're more immersed in it. I think that should be a goal for every game, to make you feel like you're a part of it and you're immersed in it. You know, I guess to contrast it with an example of a game that did that well, not necessarily the same genre, but Batman, I guess Arkham Asylum, I'm getting confused with which one's coming out, did it very, very well. It made you feel like you were Batman, but it wasn't a whole clusterfuck of shit on the screen. And, you know, stuff made sense, and it was orderly and, you know, presented well. It made sense. You know, you weren't like, what is this? What is that? Why is this over here? So, anyway, that's kind of my view on it in a nutshell, but I'll give it another go this weekend, and then I'll let you guys know what I think after that, and, you know, give you a little bit more in depth. But that was CoD Olympia, and hope you guys enjoyed it.